I burned through all my contacts in my Mormon community, which is worth about $3 trillion. Now, I can't get these people to answer my calls because I just found out today that none of my endeavors will happen. You know what this reeks of? It reeks of an overreach. And let me tell you why I feel like this reeks of an overreach. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. The season is almost here. We're all excited. Crazy things are happening, but crazier things have happened before. We are not new to this. In this video, I want to talk to you about one of the reasons why Trevor Reilly, the Buffaloes special teams coach, left the Buffaloes. Let's talk about Trevor Reilly and why he left. Let's go.
BWB. Bandwagon Buffs.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. And once again, guys, you can find this story on SI.com. That is the source. SportsIllustrated.com. Colorado saw NIL funding from Saudi Arabia's PIF, an unprecedented move. Deion Sanders and Buffs tried to create a partnership ahead of first season back in the Big 12. This story is written by Jason Jones. Jason Jones, what up with you? So here's the story. Deion Sanders and his Buffalo staff have been at the forefront of innovative business ideas during his tenure with Colorado. As it turns out, NIL funding is no different. After resigning as CU special teams coordinator on August the 1st, Trevor Reilly went on the record about trying to pull in funding for the school's 5430 NIL collective. He expressed to Sports Illustrated that there were no bad feelings between anyone with the program, but rather he was at odds with a few people in Colorado's administration. Reilly said he spent time in the Middle East this past holiday season by lobbying Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF, for name, image, and likeness NIL funding on behalf of CU football. A copy of what Reilly says was in his resignation letter to CU Athletic Director Rick George and Sanders was reviewed by Sports Illustrated. The arrangement was that because I did all the NIL work at Jackson and got us through, you guys would pay me a modest salary and make me the special teams coordinator, which should have freed up time for me to handle NIL activities, Reilly wrote. You paid me $90,000 a year and let me handle special teams. I did all this work in your name and was told to pursue it. I burned through all my contacts in my Mormon community, which is worth about $3 trillion. Now, I can't get these people to answer my calls because I just found out today that none of my endeavors will happen. I even went to Saudi Arabia and got a meeting with the Saudis who were interested in pursuing business. I have email receipts to prove it, and you guys let it fall flat on his face. Reilly said he acted on his own accord trying to pull in donors. I did nothing illegal and was trying to help Colorado the best way I knew how. Sports Illustrated reached out to Colorado Athletics, who didn't comment on Reilly's trip to the Middle East. Some of these outside-the-box concepts are small. Earlier this week, 99-year-old CU legend Pecky Cupham received a one-of-a-kind NIL deal for a I ain't hard to find too blender's sleeve. Some players outside the bigger names secure deals with local businesses, but it's about finding additional funding that will level the playing field for programs like Colorado against powerhouses like Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Texas. This could signal the largest outside-the-box thinking pertaining to NIL funding that anyone has considered. Regardless of fan base size, boosters, and donors' efforts, it's an untapped resource, a supply that could bury the financial abilities of the stronger programs in the country. It has seemed that Coach Prime's staff has been busy looking for ways to compete with the larger NIL deals that would seem unlikely from Colorado. That is, until considering an option that is not only outside Colorado, it's outside the borders of America. Reilly, on behalf of Colorado, considered entering into a partnership with the PIF, which is one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world. The wealth of riches is near or exceeding $1 trillion in value. That is a number that levels the playing field immediately and without question or hesitation. CU being funded for NIL through the PIF will render all of those larger program numbers to be inconsequential. controversial. If this sounds crazy, it's really not. The Saudi government owns multiple international professional soccer clubs outright, along with stakeholder rights in many others, including Chelsea and Newcastle United. They are also the lead backer for LIV Golf, who previously attempted to buy the PGA Tour and partners in ATP and Formula One. Just imagine what Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's NIL valuations would be with that kind of backing. Even better, imagine what it might look like for the significant contributors who are not named Sanders or Hunter. This could be the sledgehammer that allows Colorado to break through the glass ceiling that would allow them to compete dollar for dollar with the bigger, more consistent programs of the Power Four. Where this gets interesting is how it would be received by the masses. To Reilly's point, there is nothing illegal, ill-advised, or even frowned upon. When it comes to NIL, the money has to come from somewhere. In this particular case, it just so happens to not come from someone inside of Colorado. Would it be better if CU alums, boosters, or other Colorado interests were the ones funding the NIL deals? Yes. The only question is, how would this land for the individual fan? Rich Eisen was one of the people who was not pleased with the PIF buying into the sports world outside of their own national interest. This is Saudi Arabia buying the PGA Tour, Eisen said on his show, and also buying the lawsuits going between both parties, the LIV Golf Tour and the PGA Tour, and dropping those lawsuits. That's what this is about. The Saudi prince doesn't want to be deposed. This has been explained to me by multiple people. How it comes across can be expressed in 2 words. It stinks. It stinks to be high heaven. That's 5 words. Jay Monahan is quoted as saying LIV is using players and the game of golf to sports watch the recent history of Saudi atrocities. And today, what Saudi atrocities? Poof, gone. How does Rory McIlroy feel today? Tiger Woods, who turned down almost $1 billion. I'm just saying. The Saudi-owned golf, period. End of story. That, for the sports world, is an atrocity. Some people would say these are the rules of the game. NIL and CU is operating within the scope of the rules. Others will look at this from a political standpoint and will resist the idea that this is going to be the new normal. Some might even argue that NIL should come only from an American interest. However, if that is how the model should continue, NIL will never be fair. If funding NIL deals can only come from the universities, sponsors, boosters, and alumni, it would never actually be fair. Similar to other unbalanced dynamics in college football, the big dogs will continue to win hand over fist, while the other 70% of college football will have to make do with table scraps. Good, bad, or otherwise, NIL funding through the PIF will completely change that dynamic with the snap of the fingers. Don't forget, if Colorado were to secure funding from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it could be an unprecedented move for college athletics. That is Jason Jones right there. So basically, what do I think about this? What I think about this is because I talk about politics on my other channel, The Billionaires Mindset, I understand a little bit about why this is not a good look for Colorado. Why this is probably something that will look bad on Colorado, because number one, Colorado is already public enemy number one. Colorado has to be very careful how it moves, how it receives its money because of Coach Prom's status and how Colorado is perceived. The people who don't like Colorado, if they got hold of a story that says, oh, Colorado is in bed with the Saudis, this is a bad look. This will be something crazy, all right? Now, the story will be spun in a whole nother way. People would take it out of context. Deion Sanders is doing this. This is all Deion Sanders. Even though Coach Prom is just a head coach, he has influence, but people would take it as Colorado and Deion Sanders are in the bag or in the pockets of the Saudis, and this would not bode well. Is this the reason why Reilly left? No, I'm sure there's some other things that had to go on. Because when you get a guy like Reilly, somebody who's, like he said, is in the Mormon community and he's a money guy, he's trying to make moves and he's trying to get his name out there. He's calling all of his contacts. You know what this reeks of? It reeks of an overreach. You feel me? And let me tell you why I feel like this reeks of an overreach. I made this move. I'm bringing in the Saudis and I want more power. And if you're not willing to give me the power that I rightfully deserve, because I'm bringing in all of these money people to make sure that we have the money to compete with all these big programs, I want more power. And if I don't get it, I'm going to pull the plug. And that probably did not sit well with others in the administration, giving that much power to one one person or somebody who's a coordinator. And they said, nah, we're good. We're going to have to do this on our own because we don't want what you're selling, or we don't want to give you that much power. They're already dealing with Coach Prime and how much power he has with the team. Now, this guy's going to come in with more. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just giving you my perspective because this is the Liberian perspective after all. You understand what I'm saying? So it's TLP, the Liberian perspective. There was something that was going on that the university, the administration felt like, nah, we're not trying to go this route. And there was some type of disagreement that made him sour. And he felt like, all right, so if you don't want to do that, then I'm out. Keep in mind, when you make those type of deals, you're kind of making promises. You're going in there and you're telling people, hey, listen, you do this, I'll bring you this, and I'm going to bring you that. And people sign on the line and they start developing some type of trust with you. And they say, okay, fine. If you're able to give me this, give me that, give me access to this, access to that, yes, the deal is good. They have to pull strings on their end as well. You contact A contacts B, and then B contacts C. You create a line of trust, and everybody is making promises to their guy, and then you add the Saudi deal. You go and say, okay, well, I can bring money through this Saudi situation. Everybody is now trusting that the Saudis are on board. They're giving up chunks and chunks of stuff that is valuable to them because they're thinking that if the Saudis come on board, then we will have access to X, Y, and Z from the Saudis, and that can have some great implications for stuff that we want to do. But then if CU kills the Saudi deal, which was the key factor to this entire thing, you lose that deal, now everybody's out. Everything that just happened from A, B, and C, everything just falls down and it doesn't happen. So now everybody's like, oh shoot, we don't have the Saudis. What happens to my guy? Everybody's guy, the next guy, and the next guy is like, no, it's not going to happen now. The whole deal is off, and that caused some bad blood. And Trevor's like, dang, bro, y'all really messed me up. I can't believe y'all can't close this deal and you let this deal fall flat on the ground, and that's not right. And I just lost a lot of relationships. I'm out of here. That's what I think happened. But hey, man, you want to sound off? Please, I want to hear you sound off in the comments. Please, I want to hear from you, Buff Nation. And I want to let everybody know this whole deal about Shedeur being snubbed from preseason All-American and all of that stuff. You got some people saying, oh, Shedeur has a fire lit under him now and he's going to be playing for something special or something different. I want you to know that Shedeur Sanders, this kid, he pretty much came out of the womb with a fire, right? This kid's confidence is on another level. What is it that y'all don't understand about Shedeur Sanders? This is a kid that is a whole nother kind of person. Coach Prime in his phone has him undergrown. He came out of the room with a beard, all right, and curly hair. Stop playing. Shedeur doesn't need nothing else. He knows what the deal is. He tells y'all all the time, this kid is mature beyond his years. Very mature guy. He's not worried about y'all's predictions. He ain't worried about what y'all telling him he is and he's not. He came from Jackson State, which was an HBCU, and y'all said that he weren't going to be able to translate from that conference to the Power 5. He did that. Now that it's Power 4, he's one of the best quarterbacks this year. All right. In 2024, he is one of the best quarterbacks, top 5, if not number 1. Y'all doing too much. You feel me? Y'all want to snub Shedeur on preseason All-American, blah, blah, blah. Do what you got to do, but it's game time. That's all that we care about right now. Ain't nobody got time to be worried about y'all talking about Shedeur got snubbed. Y'all trying to rev us up and saying crazy things. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that. We ready for football. August 29th is right around the corner. August 24th is this Saturday. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying, son? We ain't afraid of nobody. Shedeur ain't afraid of nobody. We gonna come up in here and we gonna lay the smack down on some folks. And you better recognize that. I'm gonna leave it right there, guys. Sound off in the comments. And I'll see you. Get it? See you on the next video. Okay.